Alrighty folks, welcome back. It's a nice time for some more TechNodeFirmaCraft here on my server, and this is actually my second round of recording this because I started recording and I found a bunch of issues along the way, and there was problems with some Pastebins and whatever. So I'm going to redo this again, but just know that some of this has already been done and set up, so we're going to kind of review some things that I did during the last recording. At any rate, so we are currently in Sims base, if you can't tell. You can look out over the tower because it's beautiful up here. Yay! I want to work with drones, but I wanted to talk about chunk loading. So I came down here so that the chunks around here, of course, are loaded because I'm standing here. And I wanted to show you what the chunk loading looks like. Come on, there it goes. Over by our normal base while I'm down here. Because if I walked up there, then it would be like this, and I'd have the whole area loaded. Okay, so this is spawn. Not even sure what those markers are, but anyway, this is spawn and it's force loaded. The blue means force loaded. The green is supposed to mean loaded, but it's not. I don't know. TFC's chunk loading is kind of weird, I guess. I currently have 3 active chunk loaders, and these are the passive anchors from Railcraft, which gives you a 3x3 area loaded. So the 3x3 blue is from the passive anchor. However, each one also seems to kind of load an area around it. So you sort of get a 5x5, but I'm not really sure that's 100% accurate. And sometimes you get extra chunks, like this one, and this one are not part of any of these 3 loaders. And other times that I've looked at this like whole area was loaded, or green at least, which is supposed to mean loaded. Alright, so that out of the way, let's just go back to no overlay, and I want to just show you this. So I had a chunk loader up here, and you can see that that area is currently has no snow on it, because when I logged out, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. When I logged out, the temperature was above 0, so the snow was melting. The chunk loader was there, so the ticks kept processing, but TFC time doesn't advance and weather doesn't advance. So it just stays at weather, stays that time, stays like that. However, the ticks keep advancing, so you are able to clear the snow. And as you can see down here, the 3 active ones, it has now snowed, or was snowing, I guess, when I logged off, because these are now completely snowed in where the surrounding area is not. Okay, so all that being said, let's go up there now, and I want to show you what I've done with the drones and show you why all that chunk loading stuff matters and what's going on here. Alright, so just to be clear, get over here. Come on. Alright, so here's one of the chunk loaders, and this this guy loads up. Oh, actually, is a world anchor. We were experimenting with world anchors versus passive anchors, but either way, same thing. We were experimenting, or this guy loads up the farm area. Let me just turn on chunk boundaries. So it loads up this chunk, these chunks over here, and then up top it loads up this chunk, which has the, which one are you again? The squeezer in it, and the refinery, and the diesel generator, but doesn't have the fermenter, and also doesn't have like part of the pipes and some other stuff in it. So if the green area is to be believed, then this would be loaded. We'd have that 5x5 and it'd be loaded. However, I actually found one of the drones kind of stuck over here. It did some work. It filled up the chest a bit, but then it just seemed to stop, as if the chunk was unloaded. So I don't know if the green just unloads after a while or whatever. But all of this is very important because we have to keep, if we want the drones to run while we're offline, we would basically have to chunk load that whole area, all the places they need to go up here, and the power that comes in. The other problem I had, and this is really weird, because this is chunk loaded. Right here, I have a energy cube and an HV capacitor that are chunk loaded, and a wire going from here to here. But what happened is, every time I logged out, this guy no longer had power. It took me a while to figure that out, because the drones basically just stopped working. They all ran down to 0 bars of pressure and just stopped. And finally, I came over here after logging in and noticed that this was also out of pressure. And I was like, what? Because it should have power, and it's got power lines. It should come right over here. All I can figure out is the power network that this is connected to also goes over here to a place that's not force chunk loaded, as well as, of course, out where it's being sourced from, back down to the water mill and up to the windmill and all that stuff, to other places that aren't chunk loaded as well. So I guess it didn't work. Which in the end probably means this whole drone thing ain't gonna work unless we completely change things and or add a whole ton of chunk loaders. Now, that being said, let's take a quick look at, let's start with the pneumatic helmet, which I must have put in here. Oh, and here are my two drones. They're just hanging out right now because they happen to know that everything is full right now and they can't continue on. So from last episode, I had a couple of problems. Ooh, pneumatic helmet, yeah. A couple of problems with the program. One problem was they kept running out of power, pressure, but that turned out to be the chunk loading, and the power was just not getting to our flux compressor. So dumping an energy cube right on top of that has fixed that problem. The other problem was they didn't know what to do when things were full. So they would just continue going around and around, and they'd go up here and they'd try to export to the inventory, but they couldn't because it was full. And then they go to the next puzzle step, which said go dig up some more stuff and pick it up, but they couldn't pick anything up because they were full. And then come back and go export it, and it just didn't. They couldn't do anything. So I've upgraded things a bit, and as you can see right now, they're not trying to dig up stuff. And if you look at the, let's see, where can we get this? Yeah, if you look at the routine, you say it says the routine is full, and every once in a while that's going to flash to item check. Actually, every 10 seconds it will flash to item check. And what they're doing is they're checking their respective inventories and saying, is there any room left? If there isn't, I'm just going to sit here. If there is, then I'll go down and dig some more stuff. They are also in standby mode. Let's see, I'll have to take the helmet off to actually see that. They've been put into standby mode, so the rotors are turned off. They're not using any air pressure right now, so they're just hanging out and just every once in a while checking to see if they're ready to go or not. So let's turn it on, and let's see. Yeah, I did this in the first recording, so let me show you this. I've taken the diesel generator off the main power grid and routed it straight out here through a redstone breaker, which is kind of like a big insulated breaker for HV. We've also got, let me see if I can just zoom in on it here. We've also got those little breakers which work for LV and MV but don't work for HV. So I made this guy to be able to switch the HV power on and off, although we can just turn the diesel generator on and off anyway. Okay, so that runs out to the excavator, which is out there by that coal marker 150 meters away. And time to eat. Of course, it's always time to eat. And it's the middle of the night too, so we're not going to go out there right now. I don't want a creeper blowing up on it or whatever. But let's just turn it on. Now right now, these are full. Well, they're almost full. They're within that last little bit. I had bins here originally, but the problem is the pneumatic drones couldn't seem to read the bin and decide if it's full or not. Then I put Java barrels there, and that seemed to work for a little bit, but then when I put it up to 2,000, because a Java barrel with stack size of 64, non-upgraded, can hold 2,048 items. Once I did that, then it couldn't figure out that it was full or not full. So I don't know what happened. Anyway, moved on to reinforced chests, and that's going to be our buffer instead of these other things. Let's turn this on, and in a second here, so this guy's going to be using up, and the hopper is going to be grabbing stuff out of the chest, placing it into, there we go, placing it into the squeezer and the fermenter, and then, there we go, not full. So he's doing his not full thing, and he says, export to here. Oh, he had stuff in him, so he's probably back to full. Nope, okay, so we're not full, so now he's in the main routine, and off he goes to do the things. I'm like, wait, what drone is that? Oh yeah, right. So this pneumatic helm has an entity tracker on it, and that lets me track the drones as well as all other entities, like this Blue Duke butterfly. And if I come out here, it's pretty cool stuff. Now, of course, it doesn't give you any actual protection. It'd be like an iron helm in regular Minecraft, but in TFC it doesn't really work. So here I can see this is a skeleton, and that's a creeper, and we got another butterfly, I guess? Yep. And then if I come down here, it'll actually say, mob is targeting you, and it tells me that that guy is actually targeting me, so I know I need to get out of here. So that's pretty cool. Let's look at the upgrades on the tracker while this is running for a minute. We'll just give these guys a second to see how we're doing, how we're keeping up. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. But I have tweaked a few things. I haven't tried it this way just yet, so let's try that. Alright, if we put the pneumatic helmet back in here, it will A, charge up, and B, we can see its inventory. And you can see there are quite a few upgrades. So I've got an entity tracker upgrade, which is what lets me see the drones and the other entities in the world. The dispenser upgrade, I think, was the one that... I think this is the one that lets you debug drones, and I'll show you that in a second. Speed just makes it start up faster. Range is obvious. I think the default is 16 blocks, and every range upgrade gives you 5 blocks, if I remember right. So I threw a few of those in there. But of course, the more of these you put in, the more air it's going to take. So the faster it discharges. Yes, the faster it'll discharge, which is why I've got 2 volume upgrades in there for a bigger battery. I also have the block tracker upgrade, which I guess I can turn on and just show you. I've got it turned off right now. And the coordinate tracker, I forget what it even does, but I just was making upgrades, so I went ahead and made that one too. Alright, so let's put this guy back on, and let me just show you a couple cool things with the helm while they kind of go do their work over there. Okay, so right now we can see entities, right? So we can see the butterflies and the bad guys. If we come over here, we'll actually see there's an armor stand that counts as an entity in there. So bam, there you go, armor stand. I have to stop to actually get on it. Armor stand, health 100%, and if we come over here, we're going to see all the farm animals, and then we're going to, well, we should, I'm going to say we should trigger the spam protection. There is a spam protection that if you get too many entities or whatever all at once, it will stop and only track, like, I don't remember, 20 or 50 or something like that, but whatever. Alright, so if we hit K, we've got a bunch of different stuff, and here's the drone debugging one we'll get to in just a sec. If I, let's say, turn on the block tracker, and you'll see why I turned it off. The only real useful thing here, I think, is the inventories. I mean, there is no end portal, we can turn that off. There are no monster spawners, we can turn that off. I guess we can see RF power blocks, sure. And hackables is something weird, but well, I'm not going to play with that today. If we turn this on, and now we've got inventories turned on, yeah. It gets a little bit spammy. Like a lot of bit spammy. So everything pops up, and here's our RF stuff. So let's take a look here. Ultimate Energy Cube, contents empty. Well, it's not empty. It's a RF power block. It just doesn't really tell us much about it. You can actually tell what's in inventories, which is kind of cool. So right here I'm looking, well, it's off a little bit, but I'm looking at the hopper, which has 320 reeds in it. I'm looking at the reinforced chest, which has 1K reeds. I guess it once you get over 1,000, it kind of simplifies it for you there. And that has 1K industrial hemp seeds. But it also takes every block of the multi-block as an actual inventory. So yeah, contents 1 shale rock. Oh, that's debris on the ground, I guess. Alright, so currently we're tracking 638 inventories and 72 RF power blocks. So that's not super useful. The really useful thing about this when messing with the drones is you can debug the drones in the field. So if I take a look at one of these guys and I hit Y, it says press Y to debug. It highlights that dude, and now it says, okay, you're debugging that guy. So if we just look at him, we can see what he's doing with, well, we can see both of them with the pneumatic helm on. And it tells you the pressure and what routine he's in. But now I can actually go in here and hit drone debugging, and I can actually see his program while he's doing it. Let's see, I guess he's over there. So right now he's in this go to locations puzzle piece. So he's up here and he's heading over here to a go to location that I set up for him. And once he does that, he's going to get down here to this item check routine, which is going to see if there's any room to put more items in the chest or not. He decided, yep, there's more room, so let me export to the inventory. I'm going to go to my charging station, go to standby, and then because there's more to do, he's basically going to immediately go from standby up to back to the start and back to dig area and do it all again. So there's a couple things in here. I was just thinking as I'm telling you guys that there's a couple things in here that probably don't actually have to be in here anymore, like that go to and that standby. I think at this point he's basically always going to continue on. My thought there was that since they were running out of power, if I sent them over here to the charging station, even for a second, they should get there, they should stop, and then they should charge up. If their pressure is ever under 1 bar of pressure, they're supposed to come over here and hang out and wait until they're equalized with the pressure, well, 10 bars or equalized with the pressure of the network. Turns out, again, it was actually the fact that we were running out of power in the flux compressor, not that that was a problem with their AI while I'm offline. At any rate, that's about it for those guys. Yeah, let's go take a look at the upgraded program, and I will show you the paste bins and all the things for it. So come back over here to the programmer, and yeah, this is a bit more complex, and we've added quite a few things to it. A couple of little things I'll mention to you as I go through it here. So, all right, so this is the old program, basically, this section. So go dig in this particular area, and for the for Seedy, oh yeah, I renamed him and didn't tell you that. So the hemp farmer is now Seedy, and the sugar daddy, I got that from sugarcane, but it's actually reeds, so he's Reedy. So now we've got Seedy and Reedy, and actually Reedy is Mark III because I lost two. One of them, I don't know where it went, just disappeared. The second one, I was having problems with him not picking up stuff off of the covers on the ground, so I converted the covers to half slabs, and it still didn't work. So I removed the half slabs completely and converted the water from TFC water to Minecraft water, because Minecraft water doesn't freeze in the winter. And then I found out, oh, if they touch water, like literally just touch it, they drowned. So he would try to go down into the water to pick up stuff and drown, and yeah, I lost that one too. At any rate, I finally just went with full blocks, and that seems to have fixed the problem, so it's doing its thing. All right, so Seedy and Reedy. We're looking at Seedy here because we're going to pick up hemp seeds. So he's going to dig everything in this particular area, and he's going to do 30 block interactions max. Okay. Now I had an item filter here, and I was trying to tell it only dig industrial hemp. The problem is, and let's just grab one here. The problem is, if you search for hemp, you get the seeds and the fibers, but you don't get the plant. There seems to be no way, even if I do the block ID, which is 1259, 125 works. As soon as I hit 9, there's nothing, right? So you can also do search inventory, which is why I grabbed one of these. I had to grab this out of the creative menu. I can't even get this any other way, but tried that as well, and that didn't work either. So we're just going to get rid of that completely. So he's told to only break in a specific area, where if I could have told him only break industrial hemp, then I could have given him a larger area and not had to worry about this so much. My thought was to give these guys both the same large area and then tell them what to do. Anyway, all right, so once he's done breaking 30 industrial hemp, he's going to go ahead and pick up items in that same area. And I've got the item filter that says only pick up seeds, because I don't want to mess with the reeds, and I don't want to mess with the industrial fibers. I kind of should have him pick up the industrial fibers and void them somewhere instead of just leaving them on the ground, but it's my own server, and it's probably not that big a deal for me, so I'm just going to leave him like that. Okay, so once he's done picking up stuff, I've got a go-to location. Like you guys said, it kind of just makes him go up in the airways instead of going straight to this fermenter, squeezer. I'm sorry. Probably don't need that. I just kind of wanted him away from the land a little more. I had one of them get stuck under a tree leaf with snow on the top of it, so I kind of wanted to do that. All right, now here's where it gets interesting-ish. So now we've got jumps and labels. And honestly, this one right here is not needed at all. It's here because I need it later. So this jump says, jump to a label that has a value of item check. And here's a label with a text box with the value item check. So simply just jump from here to here, no big deal. Once you get there, we now have an item conditional piece, which says, check the inventory at this location, at this area, and decide if it has greater than or equal to 1,700 items. Okay? So are there 1,700 seeds in that box? And then decide what to do. So now here's where we have branching programs, which is pretty cool, actually. I didn't know you could do this. Oh, and by the way, you have to go from easy, which just gives you the real basic stuff we were looking at before, to medium, and then advanced actually even gives you a little bit more, but medium gives you a lot of stuff. All right, so are there more than 1,700 items in this inventory? If not, if this is false, then we go to the text label on the left side of the conditional. So if it's not over 1,700, then it's not full, and we go over to this label that says, hey, I'm not full, where it then exports to the inventory at that area, And then again, this go-to location is the charging pad, which you probably don't need. And this standby, I don't think we need this anymore because, yeah, he's never going to just stay there. That's never going to happen. So you honestly don't need those, but I'm not going to redo the program just for that. Okay, so back here then, if the inventory is full, if there's more than 1,700 items in it, then we go, let's see, where are we? Yes, we go to the label that is value full. So here's a label with the value of full, and you can just right-click and put in whatever, whatever label you want or text you want there. And then he's going to say, okay, go to location. That's the charging pad, and you noticed I gave each of them their own charging pad, so they won't knock each other off. So the inventory is full. So instead of trying to go export to it, which won't work, go to your charging pad defined by this area. Go into standby mode, turn off your rotors and stop using air pressure, and then wait for 10 seconds. So 10 seconds, whatever, you can make that whatever you want. And then jump from here back to item check. And you can see the little white lines. That's the flow. So I turn flow on and off here. So wait 10 seconds, go back to item check, which is again up here, and decide again, is the inventory full or not? And if it's full, you just come back over here and hang out in standby mode, and you don't do anything except for check every 10 seconds and decide if it's time to move on. Once I flipped the lever, turned on the diesel generator, and started using up some of the items, then it says, is the chest full? Oh, no, it's not full anymore, so let me go ahead and export, and then from there we'll go back to start and start digging again. Yeah, so there's a bit there, and things. I'm on my other window because I got to get a copy paste for you guys. I kind of am worried that these are going to become my drones. Sorry, drones are going to become my bees because, yeah, again, I want to do one little thing, but to do that one little thing, oh yeah, actually it's all of PneumaticCraft, right? To do that one little thing, we need pressure, and then we need a valve, pressure chamber, and then we need plastics. So to make plastics, we have to make the refining thingy, the whole refinery, and get the liquid plastic, and then we need speed upgrades, so we need diesel to come out of there so we can make speed upgrades. And anyway, lots and lots of stuff, but it's fairly interesting stuff, I think. Alright, so last thing is, here is your import export to and from Pastebin. Anybody not familiar with this, Pastebin is a website where you can just paste, it says bin, which would be binary, but paste text and then give it to somebody else and say, hey, here's text, right? So this supports it, and I can now upload this program to Pastebin, and there you go. There's the link for it. Just go to pastebin.com/blah blah blah. I'll copy and paste it here so that I can put that in the description, presuming I can remember to do that. And then you can get the same program. Now, of course, your areas aren't going to be the same, but the overall program should be. And the other one I can do is let me copy this. Oh, come on, give me the link. There, that should be right. Let me get Reedy's, yeah, that was Seedy. Let me get Reedy's program for you. So I just paste in his link, there you go. And we get that from the Pastebin, and now we can see basically the same program, but all the areas are different, and now we do have item filters for reeds instead of for seeds. And that's it. Let's go see how our guys are doing. And it looks like we're already through another day, aren't we? Where am I going to drink? Let's have a quick drink too. Okay, can you and... Wow, I'm really thirsty. Alright, up here we go. Now, let's see how the old diesel generator is going. There you go. Still running. Sometimes the sound cuts out, but there you go. Okay, still running. We're obviously not keeping up, as you can see. But let's just check the difference, because I think I've got them fairly close. Oh yeah, look at that. So we're down to almost exactly the same amount in both of them. I did change the farm up a little bit. We're going to shut you off for now. And I'll show you where all that power is going. Oh, well, I guess maybe we're half a stack off or something, but it's pretty good. I did change the farm up just a little bit. Let me show you guys that. I added another row of sugarcane out here, sorry, reeds out here on the end, and I converted one row of industrial hemp to reeds in here because I already had water across there. And as I said, I had covers here. That didn't really work, so I changed them to half slabs. That didn't really work, so I had to go with full slabs to keep these guys from going into the water. And if anybody happens to... Oh, because you're debugging. Why are you red? If anybody happens to know about it, there is an upgrade for drones that protects them from liquids. Problem is, the way it protects them is it removes the liquid. Completely removes it. So your source blocks go away, and then all the reeds pop out of the ground. And that's not good. So let's sleep away the night really quickly here. One more thing. I think we're probably already at an episode, aren't we? Let me take a quick look. Oh yeah, we're already at an episode, but one more thing. I want to show you where all this power is going, and then talk about, is this really going to work or not? We're out of sandwiches, aren't we? Yeah, I made a second refrigerator, and basically I just make up 20 or 30 sandwiches and put them all in there. But, oh, yep, good. I do have 2 left. It's at that time to make more up. It's easier just to make a whole ton of them up at once instead of going back and forth making one at a time. And because of the refrigerator, they don't decay. So, well, basically don't decay. Almost don't decay. Okay, so the power is coming from here, and I guess let's turn it on just so we can see it in operation. Yeah, it'll work for a while because there's stuff in here, and there's stuff in. You know what? Actually, I meant to do this too. Found this out about bins. If you sneak right-click on the bin, it will auto-output into an inventory below it. So there you go. We just got that. So now we're kind of full back up. The chests are full back up, and these guys should go back to their full routine. Bounce, until we need some more reeds and seeds. Okay, so let's come on over here. We're following this HV cable that I ran all the way across. You can see all the little green, I don't remember what they are. Oh, and there's my world anchor or passive anchor, whatever it is, but I only put one ender pearl in it. Oh, that scared me. I only put one ender pearl in it, so it's run out of power because I did that yesterday. Relays, there we go. HV wire relays. Alright, so this guy is outputting, well, this guy is outputting kimberlite, emerald ore, and bituminous coal into this chest. And what I wanted to do is just leave the kimberlite and the emerald in here because it's only like a 1% chance. You're not going to get a ton of it. Rather than put that in a bin. Could have put it in a bin, but I also kind of wanted to just mess with this logistical sorter. And I did this on camera before, but let me just run you through it really quick because, again, I'm redoing some of this. This guy, basically, if you turn on auto eject, he'll just output everything from an inventory into the pipe system, everything that he can. But what I did is I set up an item filter, took a piece of bituminous coal, put it in here, and said, okay, I just want you to output bituminous coal. The other thing I did, just because you can turn on stack size. So if you leave this off, it'll just pick any stack size it wants, so 1 in this case, and output it, or a full stack if there are full stacks in there. I turned it on and set it between 4 and 8, which I was just doing just to mess with it basically, and it does work. And that's it. So basically he's going to output anytime we get to 4, 3, 4, bam, there you go. So we get to 4 coal and he outputs, pops it in the chest. And there we go. So we got 1,000 coal, or bituminous coal, which I can grab. Alright, yeah. I'm like, why did it give me some? Right, because it's a bin, kind of like a barrel. But anyway, I grabbed this, and definitely there are, well, 951 now. Let's double click it with this, and there you go. There's your 999 again. Can we do this without grabbing one? Yeah. Alright, that's it for now, I think. We're going to let this continue going. That's going to hold 4,096 items each. And this is going to do its thing. Well, actually, not quite done. I need to tell you why none of this is going to work. Well, it sort of works, but not as well, not nearly as well as I had hoped. Alright, so I'm standing here now, and as I'm centered, I have, an area around me chunk loaded. Everything outside of this area is not loaded, not ticking, not doing anything, except the ones that have the blue force load because of the chunk loaders. So right now, because I'm standing here, I have this loaded and I have the diesel generator and all that stuff loaded. But if I move away, if I go down to Sim's place or I go somewhere else, then this all unloads. And I would actually need chunk loaders, as far as I can tell, I would need chunk loaders all the way from here out to the excavator, including all the power lines in between. Now, it could work. I mean, I could put one here, and one here, and one here, and that might work. But the other problem is, I think I mentioned before, we can't really see it, can we? Let's turn that off. Yeah, the other problem is this little fuzzy bit right there. That's the fermenter. So I don't even have that one loaded. So I need another chunk loader over here. So, I don't know. To really actually make this work while I'm offline and do the whole thing, we would need, I think we would need a whole bunch of chunk loaders. Let's just pop one more in here. It's fine when we're online. It's just going to make power and send it out there. But when we're offline, it's really not going to do the job unless I add a whole bunch of chunk loaders. And as we saw, these guys are not keeping up with demand, not by a long shot. So while this thing is running, it's just tearing through these way faster than those drones can deal with it. Now I could make more drones or give these guys speed upgrades, but the problem is not really that the drones are too slow, it's that there isn't enough farm here. So I would have to make the farm like 3 times as big. Now, actually it's not too bad right now, there's a bunch of stuff grown up, but you can see that one drone is getting everything except for this little corner over here, and eventually he will actually clear out this corner and basically get ahead of the farm slightly. So he's set to dig the closest one, or break the closest ones, and as these repopulate, of course, he just grabs the ones that are over near that instead of out in the corner. But yeah, they're ahead of the farms, even with this, you know, fairly large area. That is not enough. I'd have to probably duplicate the entire thing. I mean, I could, maybe I will, I don't know. I probably have to duplicate the entire thing, maybe over here on this side, and add 2 more drones and a whole bunch more, well, a couple more drones. I guess the program's already done. I could do it. I'm kind of curious. I don't know. What I did want to do, remember, was I wanted to use these chestnuts instead of the hemp seeds, at least. And those give you 440 actually, let's go to this guy. Gives you 240 millibuckets of plant oil, versus the seeds only give you, I think, 20? 40. So these give you 6 times as much. The problem is, to automatically farm these, even with a drone, would be pretty tough, because it would basically have to plant the tree, or plant the saplings, well, check and see if there's one planted, if not, plant it. Then wait, and maybe apply bone meal, or just wait for the tree to grow. Then once the tree is grown, you need to know when it grew, and then you need to give it X amount of time, like, I don't know, so many days or something, because the chestnuts have to ripen. Otherwise, remember we saw if you just chop it down right away, you don't get any chestnuts. And I was hoping it would all be so much easier if I could just say, only entity tracker. Only chop down the tree if this is, you know, like metadata 5 or something. But unfortunately, the metadata on the leaves doesn't change, so I don't know how it decides when it's ripe or not. So if you guys know that, let me know. And then even if I get all that done, I would have to figure out another good way to make ethanol, a better way to make ethanol than reeds, basically, is the deal. And yeah, last one. And even though those are 6 times better than the hemp seeds, you're gonna have to wait like 3 days for each tree. So you're gonna need a lot of trees. These are worth a lot less, but they grow really fast. There's pretty much always something popping back up down there for him to go down and dig it up. So I don't know. It's okay. It's definitely not as efficient as I was thinking it would be, but I'll keep playing with it. I'll keep thinking about it. If you guys have any great ideas on how to do this better, definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. But it's kind of interesting, I thought, and I hope you guys enjoyed at least seeing me and my little struggles here trying to get this to work. I'm going to grab these bins because we don't need them anymore. Oh, did I mention that? These little puzzle pieces pop up in the air when you have the pneumatic helmet on. So you can see where they're going next, right? So there was the place item, and now there's a little puzzle piece that says, oh, we're going to go over here. And then that one should change, and it's going to say, okay, it's time to dig, and that'll actually fly kind of down there wherever he's going to go dig. So there you go. Where are you going, Seedy? Oh, he's going up. I thought he was like going across the farm. He's actually kind of going up in the world, and it just looked weird. Alright, anyway, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed more drones and programmings and stuff. I might fiddle with that some more, but I don't know. Got it to do what I wanted it to do, basically. It's just not efficient enough. So either I need to... I can't figure out why these won't stack, by the way. Anyway, either I need to double the size of everything or move on to something else. And there is another way to make power, a lot of power, like way more power than that diesel generator makes. So I'll have to think about that. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. Leave me a comment. Hit the old like button if you like it. And we'll see you later.